I'm Terry Sacka, and this is Rigged Against You. It's happening so fast, and I know so many mainstream people talk about, oh, it's going to take forever, but the BRICS is rising. It is complete. It's coming online. BRICS now has endorsed a staggering amount of nations around the world, and they're completing it. Now, remember, this is 40, this new currency unit these nations will be using for trade and international finance will be 40% backed by gold. So you do understand why these wars are going on and why we're trying to push Russia. We're trying to bust up this alliance because the Russians are behind it and it's not working. Right now, you can say bye-bye to the petrodollar. Now, for those, most of you by now should know the petrodollar was how we as Americans were wealthy over the last handful of decades. We made a deal with Saudi Arabia. We will defend them militarily, and they, being in charge of OPEC and all the oil and energy, made all countries buy that energy in American dollars. Well, that ended. Not only did Saudi Arabia, they just laughed Biden away, they walked away and shook hands with Russia and China, and now the oil nations are now joining the BRICS. There are now 159 countries now slated to adopt the new BRICS payment system. And I know as you hear it, we've been hearing a lot of it. This goes into, the challenge for the Great Reset the West is trying to do. And the East is saying, no, we're not going to let the West, the United States, dictate finance any longer. We're not going to allow you to put sanctions on us. We're not going to allow you to bully us and tell us what to do. And this is at a time when America has extraordinary inflation, jobs are non-existent, and we're not putting people to work. We're not creating, and the world sees this as a downfall of the American system. 159 countries joining BRICS is a big number. That's it. The world is leaving the dollar. And pay attention, because right now it seems like everything is okay. Once China depegs, once this new BRIC currency unit comes live in October, backed by gold, if China decides to depeg from the US dollar, and this could be geopolitical pressure, could go to Taiwan, could go to the expansion and war towards Russia. We're now allowing the attacks into Russia itself. Thank God we see President Trump, and now RFK Jr. is joining the team. He wants to end it too. He said, this is outrageous. We have spent $200 billion in Ukraine to try to break up Russia. It's not going to work. Not only have hundreds of thousands of lives been lost, we've destroyed the nation of Ukraine. We've destroyed our Minsk agreement, which was the West, our integrity, our honor, and the East is done with us. And the rest of the world sees this path going forward. Now, this is CBDC oriented. It is digital currency oriented. So I do like the idea of certain cryptos. And for many, I know cryptos can be confusing. Maybe I should do a podcast on that sometime, on how you can get into certain cryptos that will be part of the peer-to-peer digital financial transaction. I think that'll be important to know. I think that's good for diversifying. I like crypto. The problem with crypto, it's still the internet. They still have control over the internet, and they can still collapse it or turn it off. That's why gold and silver are paramount, especially in retirement accounts at this time and season, outside, away from the system. You do not want to be collateral, as stocks and bonds are, currency in the bank is, to the debts of the financial system. Not at this time in history. I know many Americans find this very, very difficult to swallow, that America is at the end of a rope, and we are. We may have a great military, although I'll even go as far as to say I'm not sure about that anymore. Since our military's gone so woke, we have got to get rid of those left-wing generals and get the military back to what it was. We have strong fighting men, period. That's it. I don't care what anybody else says. That is a warrior, okay? And we need to get back to this, but we have a job to do. And in the meantime, our dollar being printed into the stratosphere will not only cause extreme inflation going forward, but potential hyperinflation. Why you really better take serious about being properly protected. This is not the time to be messing around. Right now, as soon as October, it's going live. Russia's long awaited international BRICS payment system will be ready to go, with some 159 countries said to be in the process of ditching the US dollar as their official settlement currency. I can't even begin to say how unbelievably important this is to your savings and your protection and preservation of your wealth. At this time and season, it better be clearly understood, because you are not safe. And if one thing goes wrong, which there's probably 8 on the docket for that to happen, you're getting wiped out. And it's time to be outside the system. Stay away from big gold companies. I say it all the time. If they have gold in the name of their company, they're probably new, and they're extremely overcharging you. Absolutely unnecessary. You don't need to go that route. Go to Cornerstone Asset Metals, get honest pricing and more of a boutique feel, because it's a relationship all the way through the process, even down to the time when you sell. But this is a big deal. They're trying to take Russia down. This was the whole Ukraine war was about. They're trying to break up Russia. They do have 70 trillion in natural resources. I think the West would like to get their corporate goons' hands on. More importantly, they'd like to break up the idea of this new BRICS currency unit. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, and it's a little too late, because right now the new payment system will render, this is what's on, look at your currency, pull it out of your wallet and look at the top, the Federal Reserve note. You're not holding a US dollar anymore. A US dollar was grains of silver and grains of gold. So if you're holding silver, that's really a US dollar constitutionally, let alone biblically. Haggai 2:8, gold is mine, silver is mine. But the Federal Reserve note is going down. It will become obsolete at a time we not only have trillions upon trillions in the float worldwide, as they're ditching the Federal Reserve note and going to the new BRICS currency unit, those will start coming home. And you want to talk about extraordinary inflation. I mean, we have a mountain to climb here to change the direction, or else we are the Titanic, because we're going right for that iceberg. The world will no longer, and they've made it clear, ever since they put sanctions on Russia and tried to steal, and they're still trying, the West and NATO to steal over 300 billion in Russian reserves that are mostly held in European banks. It's not going to happen. The world sees it. They are no longer going to be held hostage by the so-called petrodollar, where they were forced to buy U.S. treasuries and U.S. dollars. The BRICS currency unit is coming live. And now that they've indicated they're going to lower interest rates, you want to jump on gold and silver now. We're going to the next level, gold 3,000, silver towards 50, probably by the end of the year. And then it continues. Like I said before, I won't be surprised in the next handful of years to see gold near 15,000 and silver probably $150 to $200. But more importantly, the currency you're holding, the wealth you think is protected, will diminish tremendously, especially on the heels of the inflation. They are no longer interested in being held hostage. And the reports warn could have a massive global market ramification. Many people don't believe this is going to happen. It is already happening, though. We've got to snap up, wake up, get our heads out of the sand, and understand we must, at this time, protect ourselves, because it is coming live. And as that happens, as you see the internal chaos we have in our country, it gets worse. And we will be a very difficult nation for many years, I think even a Great Depression, if we do not correct its course. We've gotten to the point now in just the past 2 years. And I know many pundits and mainstream finance said, oh, this is going to take, years upon years and decades. It's not. In just the last 2 years, BRICS has grown by leaps and bounds to become a real contender in the fight against the Western hegemony. The reserve currency is no longer in the dollar favor. Instead, the Western power dominating the planet, it's over. BRICS aims to create a global governance system of multipolarity, multi-nations now running the world instead of the United States. This being Russia's envisioned new world order. And so I know many talk about, the new world order. I know you get President Bush back in the day. Oh, it's a new world order coming. Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's not the order they had envisioned. The West, the World Economic Forum, NATO, they are failing tremendously. And the world, and especially the youth, are not having it. They're seeing the future. How are they going to buy a house? How are they going to be able to even have a family? How can they financially control it, especially when we have inflation at this rate? And I say this all the time. This is the real measurement of inflation using 1980s numbers, because that's when we were honest in measuring inflation. And currently, right now, we're at around 12%. And now that we're printing the trillions upon trillions of dollars, it's not going to get any better anytime soon. The only way we can fix this course is to come in and literally slash half of the government, close it all down, stop the bureaucracy, just like they did down in Argentina. They were able to turn it around rather quick because Milei comes in and just literally slashes the government. We need to change course if we, the people, want a future. The BRICS are becoming permanently dominant. It will become multipolarity. And you just have to know this isn't just a headline. China controls the trade routes. The BRIC nations control the trade routes. From China all the way through Europe, you even had the Chinese trying to buy the Long Beach port. They control the trade routes. And now China and Russia, which we forced to happen when we froze Russian assets and they went to war. I mean, we had no war for 4 years under President Trump. As soon as they decided to go to war and do this, they forced Russia, China, and Iran to align. And now you are on the verge of Iran attacking Israel and a major war there. You have China now looking at Taiwan saying this is ours, which is really a big deal because they control all the microchips. And now you have the BRICS currency coming live, and it is real. We failed in the West. The New World Order is definitely changing, and it doesn't include the United States or Europe. So we, the people, want to protect our assets, our wealth. Until we get through this storm, you better be cautious, because this time and season is so important not to just say, oh, well, we'll get through it. We have to hope and pray we get through it. First, we need to clean house at the government level, literally fire like half the government, get us back to sound money, and get back to sound budgeting. I don't know if Washington has what it takes to do that, but if they don't, if you want your future protected, you better not be in the paper system, the stocks and the bonds, because it is collateral to the debts of the finance and you don't own it. It's even titled in street name. So very important to know the rules and the laws, because you think your IRA is safe. It is not. It's collateral and they can take it. So stay focused on this. It's coming soon. We got about 6 weeks before this hits. But that number of 159 countries now signing in to the new BRICS unit is a huge deal for me. I mean, it started out like 12 countries, and now the whole world is deciding, well, I think it's time. What does that tell us? We, the people, better get ready. So until next time, God bless you.
With all of the recent changes in the political and financial markets, there has never been a better time than right now to invest in silver and gold. When governments simply print billions of dollars in paper money in hopes of solving financial shortfalls, you know that it is time to buy and hold assets of true and lasting value. Free information is available to you right now by calling 888-747-3309. Whether you are a new investor or you're interested in preserving the value of your retirement accounts, we make it easy for you to make smart decisions for your financial future. The specialists at Cornerstone are here to serve you, work to satisfy your retirement goals, and communicate with respect. Call us right now at 888-747-3309. That's 888-747-3309. Or visit us online at cornerstoneassetmetals.com. That's cornerstoneassetmetals.com.